Family Insurance Championship is going on this weekend at University Ridge Golf Course.
And for the first time this year, golfers and spectators can participate in Birdies for Health. That's expanding on the philanthropic efforts of years past. And with us to talk more about this is someone who's been directly impacted, that being former Badger hockey broadcaster Paul Brown. Paul, we appreciate you being here today.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Raising money for Alzheimer's. This is a personal story for you.
There's no doubt about it. My wife was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's at the age of 58. She battled it for about 8 years and passed away at 67.
You said that you told us during the commercial that you don't understand this, you really can't unless you've gone through it. But is there something when people ask you about your experience that you tell them to try to get them a little closer?
Sure. You got to pay attention. A lot of people don't like to talk about the disease. I think there's a stigma involved with it. And in Karen's case, I started seeing some things that didn't make any sense. And you do the investigation. There's 7 stages of the disease. There's 10 warning signs. And all of a sudden, it became apparent that there was an issue. And also, there was a family situation where a couple of other members of her immediate family had the disease.
What kind of toll does this take, emotionally, economically?
Well, in my case, I don't mind sharing it. Karen was in a facility for 28 months, and that's 3 years ago. The costs were about $185,000. Wow. And it's not only the financial part of it, emotionally, mentally, and physically. It's an unbelievable burden on any family that goes through that experience.
She doesn't recognize you? Doesn't know who she, at the end?
Actually, about the last 3-4 weeks that she was alive, she had another illness. She had to be quarantined in her room. Everybody that came in had to wear a mask and a gown, and all she said is Paul coming? And I was sitting there, and she might ask you 20, 30 times that day while you were there, is Paul coming? I'd say, KK, I'm here, that kind of thing, and she'd go, that's nice. She'd ask the help if they could be Paul. Basically, their last 3-4 weeks were like that.
So taking this really awful experience of your life and turning it into maybe something positive for other families, can you talk a little bit about what's going on this weekend?
Well, it's the only way I know how to fight back, and Dennis Tiziani and myself do a radio show called Talking Golf with Steve Stricker. And the Birdies for Health is not a unique concept that goes on at other tournaments around the country. We approached American Family Insurance a couple of years ago and asked them if we could do it. It took a couple of years to get approval. We got it started last year. And it was Birdie for Alzheimer's last year. This year, they've added 4 other aspects of health, and people can pledge, and depending on what their interest is, they can pledge to that individual one or pledge to several of them at the same time. And it's based on birdies in the tournament, or you can just make a general donation as well. But to give people an idea, last year there was 899 birdies in the tournament.
Okay, keep that in mind.
Right.
So if you pledged a dime a birdie, it'd be 89 bucks. And I know somebody last year, it was as little as a nickel, and somebody as high as $5 a birdie. So, but it all goes, 100% of it goes back to the university.
Well, that is incredible.
Yeah.
And you go around and you give talks, and this is a disease that's growing. I mean, we're going to see more and more of this.
Well, the projections are, and this is what scares me, by 2050 they're projecting that 14 to 15 million people could have the disease. You put that into perspective and try and get an image of what that is. You take New York City, Los Angeles, California, and Chicago, Illinois, top 3 cities in the United States. Basically, 9 out of 10 people in all 3 of those cities could have the disease. In Wisconsin, 112,000 people have officially been diagnosed with it. We know there's more people that have it. And to think about that, Lambeau Field and Miller Park would be full, and 9 out of 10 of the people in both those stadiums would have the disease.
Do we know what causes it?
No, they're working on a lot of different things. I'm not medically an expert in terms of being able to tell you specifically what it is, but I do know that the University of Wisconsin, the Alzheimer's and Dementia Research Centers at UW Hospital is one of the premier facilities in the country, led by Sanjay Asana, and they're doing everything they can to find a cure.
Is there for you an inkling of hope that you hold on to as far as the developments in this all goes, or?
Absolutely, because everybody that's watching this program or in the sound of the voice, I hope you never have to deal with the disease, because it truly is devastating, and the ramifications of it in a lot of different ways in terms of facilities, healthcare workers, medical people, all of that in addition to the costs and those kind of things. Truly, if it does go to 14 million people in the future, it has the makings of potentially being the #1 health issue in the world in terms of this, simply because of all the things that are going on. So, and to people that aren't even involved in it, this is what scares me, honestly, is the fact that, and I hope you never have anyone in your family that's involved with the disease, but the bottom line is somebody's going to have to pay for this, and that's going to involve people that don't even have anyone that's involved with Alzheimer's.
It's scary.
Yeah, support it now.
Exactly.
How are you doing otherwise? I've long-time viewers. You've been around forever, almost as long as me.
Yeah, we talked before we went on the air. 42 years, that's the exact amount of years I did Badger hockey.
Wow.
So, and
You're doing well?
I'm retired, but quite frankly, I don't like it. I do the summer show with Steve Stricker. We do the radio talk show, but quite frankly, now that Karen's gone, I got a lot of time on my hands, and I think, man, I wouldn't mind doing something part-time. So,
Well, you look great.
thanks. Nice to see you guys.
Hope you raise a lot of money this weekend.
Yeah.
And
Great cause.
thanks you to everybody that pledges and is helping out.
Yeah, thank
Go
you for
online
everything you
Go
do.
online to do this, or how do you pledge?
Yeah, just go to birdiesforhealth.org. Literally, it takes about a minute to sign up.
All right, sign up, folks.
Very simple.
Yeah, all
Let's
right.
do it.
Paul, good to see you.
And to you, too.
All right.
Nice to see
It
you.
was so nice to meet you.
Take care.
We'll be right back with a final check of your forecast.